Hi everyone! I thought I would show you guys my cats. I don't know if everyone saw the video I posted, but my cat had 3 baby kittens last week and they are about a week old now. And they are adorable. I'm having a lot of fun with them. Can't wait till their eyes are open. They're not open yet. They're so cute. So, if you haven't seen that video, there you go. They're adorable. And we're going to move on to our math lesson. So, today we are going to do our lesson 3 on module 4, and you will need a pencil and a paper. You could also get a ruler if you would like one, or you can also print out the lesson practice if you would like to do it with me. So, everyone, welcome to lesson 3. All right, on your paper, draw 3 lines just like I have drawn, and we're going to label them. These are they lines or line segments? They're line segments. So we're going to label them. This one's A, this one is B, C, and D, E, and F. Alright, and these are called line segments, right? We learned about that before. So each of our line segments represents an exact, precise line that starts and ends where the points are. Alright, now we're going to estimate about halfway between the A and the B to make another line. So let's estimate where about halfway would be. I'm going to take my ruler here and try to get it nice and straight. That looks straight. Oh, you know what? It'll tell me if it's straight, won't it? Yep, it says 0. That means it's straight. So I'm going to estimate that it's going to be here. That's somewhere around halfway, and I'm going to mark halfway on the next line as well, between C and D. And I'm going to put 2 points. This is going to be X, and this one's going to be Y. Alright, then I'm going to draw a line to connect those. Now, what word in the English language have we written on our paper now? If you said the word hi, that is correct. Can you think of any other words, letters in the English language that when they are written correctly, they make a right angle? We have a right angle there, a right angle here, a right angle there, a right angle there. No angles at all on E and F, that's a straight line. Can you think of any other letters that would have right angles in them? Well, I can think of a few. How about T? The letter T has a right angle here and a right angle there. How about the letter, if we wrote our letter I this way, then it would have right angles. How about the letter L? Letter L is a right angle. How about F and E? Those all have right angles in them. Now, when 2 lines meet and they form a right angle, those 2 lines are called perpendicular. What are they called, everyone? Perpendicular. If you look at our objective today, we are going to identify, define, and draw perpendicular lines. So what are perpendicular lines? Well, I always think of a plus sign. A plus sign is a great example of perpendicular lines, or these letters, because the way that the lines meet up, they make right angles. When they make right angles, they are then perpendicular lines. So we're not talking about the angles, we're talking about the lines. They are perpendicular and they make right angles. So this line is perpendicular to this line. On my letter T, this line is perpendicular to this line. If I'm at a stoplight and I'm stopped where another road is coming across, those two streets are perpendicular if they meet up in that way at the intersection. So perpendicular lines are all over, and those are just a few examples of some. All right, let's move on to our lesson practice. Problem set. I don't know why I say lesson practice. All right, our problem set. On each object, trace at least one pair of lines that appear to be perpendicular. So remember, perpendicular means they make a right angle. And yesterday, I talked about how, or in the last video, I talked about how if you use a Post-it note or just the corner of a paper, that is perpendicular. A perfect corner is a right angle, and that is also perpendicular because this side is perpendicular to this side. So we can also check for perpendicular lines by using a right angle, like the corner of a paper. All right, so let's look at the first one. Would this be considered oh, sorry about that. All right, on our problem set. All right, would this be perpendicular to this? No, because it's not a right angle. So how about, would this line be perpendicular to this one? Yes, it is. That is a perpendicular line. Let's find one on the next one. It could be any of these lines. I'm just going to choose this one. This is perpendicular to this line right here. I'm going to put my sign for a right angle. All right, on the clock. The hand pointing to 12 o'clock, which is the minute hand, and the hour hand, those are perpendicular. Can you think of another time of the day when the minute and the hour hand would be perpendicular? How about if it was the minute hand here, the hour hand there? Yeah. What time would that be? Actually, it wouldn't work out that way because the hand would have to be up there more. So never mind that. That was a bad example. But there could be more than one, couldn't there? All right, on the paper, this would be perpendicular to this. This would be perpendicular to that. There's two right there. Oops. All right, on the fence, I can see several. How about this one and that one? Those are perpendicular. And this one and that one. And that one and that one. And those right there. All right, on the kite, would this be perpendicular to this? Well, the only way to find out about that is to check with an actual right angle. So I'm going to take this right angle. Oops. If it'll let me. I would like to rotate it. Is it going to let me rotate it? I don't know if it's going to let me. All right, well, if it could, then I would be able to check if that is a right angle. Instead, I'm going to have to check using my corner of my paper, and it looks like it is not quite a right angle. So, no, that is not a right angle. Let's get rid of that square if we're not going to use it. Okay. All right, how about here? Is that a right angle with that? Yes, so they are. Yep, they are perpendicular. All right, do you see one on the next shape? If you have a square, you can check using a square, a corner, a right angle, and I think I do see one here at the top and the bottom. Here, that is perpendicular to that, and on the bottom as well. Okay, on the football, if you were guessing any of these, those are all perpendicular. All of them are. You just needed to select one. All right, how do you know if two lines are perpendicular? How do you know? Well, one thing I said was something about a right angle. So if they have a right angle, does that mean that they are perpendicular? Yes. How do you know if two lines are perpendicular? If or when they make a right angle. Wow, if you guys thought I had sloppy handwriting before on the whiteboard, whew, you can be thankful when I do write on the whiteboard, because this is definitely sloppy. Okay, number 3, in the square and triangular grids below, use the given segments in each grid to draw a segment that is perpendicular using a straight edge. What's a straight edge again? Yep, if you said a ruler, that's right. So it's nothing more than just a ruler, that's it. All right, so we just have to make a straight edge. Now we have to make a perpendicular lines, make perpendicular lines. So to be perpendicular, do they have to be going straight, or could they be crooked or sideways like these ones? They can be slanted, yes. If we get something that is straight, that will help us make a perpendicular line. So you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm going to take this, and it's going to help me. Actually, maybe I can get my ruler out. Yes, okay, using the ruler. Now you can watch me. How great is that? All right, so now I got my ruler lined up. I can make a straight edge here, and that is a perpendicular line. So does a perpendicular line have to be going up and down like a plus sign? No, it can go sideways like this. These are still perpendicular to each other. We're just talking about how do they relate to each other. Are they perpendicular to each other? If the answer is yes, then they're perpendicular. All right, here, got my perpendicular lines. All right, here, they're trying to confuse us with this fancy background, but that's not going to change our answer, is it? Now, actually, what I'm doing is I'm making 2 perpendicular lines. You could also put it over here, and that would be perpendicular. All right, over here, that looks straight? No. Okay, nope, I don't know if that's straight either. All right, there's my perpendicular line on the last one. All right, so we have now done those. We could have done different ones though, could we? It could have come this way. I could have done one here. Could have come down like that or down like that. These could have gone all different ways. It doesn't have to be exactly like the ones that I did. All right, let's move on to the next problem. All right, use the right angle template you created in class. That when they say that, they're talking about just using the corner of a paper. All right, to determine which of the following figures have a right angle. All right, so let's finish up our problems. All right, we are almost finished. So we are going to mark the perpendicular lines for each shape and write down which lines are perpendicular to each other. So they've already done A and B is perpendicular to B and D. So that means A and B, B and D, those are perpendicular. Then they put the square to show that that is a right angle. Where else would be a right angle? Well, how about right here? A, C, and CD. So we're going to write line AC is perpendicular to line CD. And this symbol means perpendicular. Could there be more? Yes, there could. We're not going to list all of them though, not right now. All right, let's move on to this one. E and F is perpendicular to EG. So we'll write line EF perpendicular to line EG. All right, let's look over here, and I'm going to check with my Post-it and see if there's any perpendicular lines. There aren't. There's none there. Would a circle have any perpendicular lines? No. How about a triangle? Nope. No perpendicular lines. No right angles. All right, how about E? I see one here. I see a right angle here. I see a right angle here, and on the bottom as well. For your question, you're going to tell me 2 lines that are perpendicular in E. So it could be any of the ones that I wrote, and that's going to be your question following the video.